It's funny how love, which is like this amazing, profound thing, often shows up carrying this unexpectedly heavy suitcase.
Right.
Yeah.
Packed with expectations, maybe that quiet fear of loss, or, that feeling that you need someone else to be complete. It's something so many of us deal with. And today we're doing a deep dive into something that might help unpack that suitcase entirely. It's this idea of loving deeply, but without attachment.
That's right.
We're drawing on some really interesting sources, like insights from Stoic love, cultivating deep connections without attachment, to see how ancient Stoic philosophy gives us these really practical tools to transform relationships today.
And just to be clear up front, this isn't about being cold or distant, not at all.
Right.
It's really about building emotional resilience, maintaining your own inner peace, even when things get bumpy in a relationship.
Okay.
It's about being deeply engaged, but, grounded in yourself.
Okay, so let's unpack attachment itself first. We hear that word a lot.
Yeah.
What exactly is it in this context? How does it shape how we connect?
Well, think of attachment as this psychological bond. Now, bonding is natural, of course.
Sure.
But where it gets tricky in the way we're talking about it is when it shifts into dependency.
Yeah.
Where one person starts relying maybe too much on the other for their emotional stability or their sense of self-worth, even their happiness.
Oh.
The danger there, from a Stoic view, isn't just the reliance itself, but how it kind of tricks you into thinking your value or your happiness hinges entirely on someone else.
Like your whole sense of self is tied up in them.
Exactly. It can feel like you're living in this fragile emotional house of cards.
And I guess that's where the anxiety pops up, the jealousy, that fear of loss, that fragile feeling you mentioned.
Precisely. That dependency creates this constant vulnerability, this emotional turmoil.
Yeah.
And dynamics like that can really get in the way of personal growth. You can get stuck in unhealthy pattern.
Right.
But the alternative our sources talk about is what they call healthy love.
Healthy love, I like.
Yeah, it's about nurturing the connection, absolutely, but without becoming overly reliant. It really champions independence, mutual respect.
So it's more like two whole people choosing to be together.
Exactly. Rather than two halves trying to make a whole, it allows for these deeper, more fulfilling relationships that genuinely boost well-being and resilience.
That idea of healthy love sounds incredibly freeing. So what's the core Stoic principle behind this? How does that philosophy guide this approach? Because honestly, it might sound a bit weird to someone who feels really invested in their partner's happiness.
Yeah, it comes down to what the Stoics call the dichotomy of control. It's about getting really clear on what's actually up to you versus what isn't.
Okay, what's in my control versus what's not.
Exactly. So in relationships, your emotions, your reactions, your choices, those are yours to manage. Your partner's feelings, though, their actions, or even how the relationship turns out in the long run, those are largely external, outside your direct control. And when you let go of that need to, control or fix your partner's feelings or actions, it just creates so much space for healthier ways of relating to emerge.
Okay, that makes sense conceptually, but it's tough in practice sometimes.
Yeah.
Can you give an example? How does this control what you can actually look in a real relationship moment?
Sure. So let's say your partner gets stressed. Maybe they shut down, or maybe they get a bit snappy.
Yeah, happen.
Instead of trying to change how they react, which you probably can't do anyway.
Right.
You focus entirely on how you respond. You control your empathy, your patience, your choice to maybe offer support without judging.
Ah, I see. Focusing inward.
Exactly. Or another example, letting go of controlling the outcome, like constantly worrying, will this last forever?
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Right. Letting go of that actually allows for a more authentic connection right now, in the present. It builds trust, understanding. Love can actually breathe without all that pressure.
Okay, so letting go of control naturally leads to thinking about, impermanence. That things change, things end. That idea, nothing lasts forever, can feel kind of scary, even like it undermines loving someone deeply. How does accepting that actually help us love more?
Yeah, it seems like a paradox, doesn't it? But it's actually one of the most powerful Stoic insights for relationships.
Okay.
Accepting that life is transient, that everything changes, including relationships. The Stoics sometimes called this memento mori, remembering mortality and change. It isn't meant to be depressing.
Right, not morbid.
No, it's a tool to sharpen your appreciation for now. When you really get that this moment, this connection is precious and fleeting, it kind of compels you to cherish it more fully, without that shadow of future loss hanging over everything.
So it's like, by acknowledging it could end, You actually hold on to the present moment more tightly, in a good way.
Precisely, you got it. Instead of anxiety about next year, you focus on creating meaningful memories today. Like, enjoying a spontaneous picnic just because.
Yeah.
Or really listening in a heartfelt conversation. You celebrate the small, fleeting things. Maybe writing a note about how you feel, or just taking a second together to watch a sunset. Embracing impermanence cultivates this richer, deeper love that truly values the present. You connect more fully because you're here for it. It's definitely not about loving less. It's about loving, well, better, more presently.
That really reframes it. Okay, let's talk about mindfulness. We hear that term everywhere now. How does mindfulness fit into practicing non-attachment in relationships? What's the Stoic take on it?
Right. So mindfulness, in the Stoic sense, it's a bit more active than just being present. They called it prosocia. It's like this rigorous self-awareness in the moment.
Okay, prosocia.
Yeah, it means really noticing your own judgments, your emotional triggers as they happen when you're with your loved one.
So watching my own reactions.
Exactly. Simple things work, like taking a deep breath before you jump into a tricky conversation, or mindful listening, really absorbing what they're saying, not just waiting to talk.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that sometimes.
We all are. But these practices help you engage more authentically. You appreciate the moment without needing to cling because you're anchored in your own awareness. It really helps you grow, builds resilience, and gives both people room to breathe.
Okay, and gratitude. We touched on it, and it sounds great. We all want to be grateful, but making it a real, consistent practice. How do we do that in a way that strengthens connection but avoids that dependency trap?
Gratitude is huge here because it fundamentally shifts your perspective. It moves you from feeling like something's missing, like a sense of lack, to a mindset of abundance. A Stoic would say focusing on what you have, what life has given you, what you appreciate right now, that's a powerful antidote to needing something external to feel okay.
Okay, so it fills you up from the inside, so to speak.
Exactly. When you genuinely appreciate your partner, your relationship, just as it is, that brings a sense of fulfillment that reduces the need to lean on them for your own emotional state.
So, practical tips. How do we make it consistent?
Yeah, you could start a gratitude journal. Simple as writing down, say, 3 specific things you appreciate about your partner each day.
Okay.
Or share a moment of gratitude out loud at dinner. Just, hey, I really appreciated when you did X today. Or even write a heartfelt note sometimes, pointing out qualities you admire.
Nice.
These things really build connection. They create this loving atmosphere based on appreciation, not, that anxious neediness.
This next one feels critical. Boundaries. Healthy boundaries. For someone trying to let go of attachment, how do boundaries fit in? Doesn't setting boundaries sometimes feel like you're pushing someone away, especially if you're trying not to be dependent?
That's a common concern, but actually no. Setting healthy boundaries is really an act of self-respect. And self-governance, which is very Stoic, boundaries protect your own emotional well-being, and they foster mutual respect because they clarify what's okay and what's not. It's about communicating your needs clearly.
Not to push away, but to define your space.
Exactly. It's about defining your individual space within the connection, like setting aside time for your own hobbies or interests, or insisting on respectful talk during arguments. That's a huge boundary.
Yeah, vital.
Or maybe agreeing on how you balance time with friends versus time together so both people feel valued but not smothered.
Got it.
When you both recognize and respect these lines, you build a healthier relationship, one that actually encourages growth and understanding because it honors both people as individuals.
Okay, compassion. How is compassion different from attachment? Because on the surface, they both involve caring deeply for someone.
Yeah.
How does compassion contribute to this more liberating kind of love?
That's a really important distinction. Compassion, especially from a Stoic viewpoint, is about understanding and empathy. It's rooted in recognizing our shared humanity, our shared struggles. It's not about needing or possessing someone.
So less about mine and more about us as humans.
Kinda, yeah. Attachment can easily slide into possessiveness, that fear of loss we talked about. Compassion, on the other hand, encourages caring for your loved ones while fully respecting their independence, their agency. You wish them well, you understand their struggles, but you don't feel like you own their feelings or need to fix everything.
Okay.
Practicing empathy, really trying to see things from their perspective, validating their feelings without taking responsibility for them, lets you connect way more deeply.
How does that look practically?
Well, if your partner's having a tough time, just offering a listening ear, a comforting gesture, that's compassion. Small acts of kindness, too. Leaving a thoughtful note, surprising them with coffee. Those strengthen the bond through care, not control. Cultivating compassion just creates this nurturing space built on mutual respect, free from that clinginess of attachment.
Last one here. Reflecting on personal values. This feels really foundational. How does getting clear on our own values help us love without attachment? It feels like setting your own internal compass first.
That's a perfect way to put it. It is about aligning your internal compass. When your actions and choices line up with your core values, what the Stoics called living virtuously,
Right.
you build this foundation of authenticity and trust in your relationships. Things feel solid internally.
Because you're being true to yourself.
Exactly. And that alignment strengthens connections because it fosters mutual respect and understanding, often built on shared principles of what really matters.
So how do you start that reflection?
Well, you could take some quiet time to identify your core values, what's most important to you in life and in a relationship: honesty, growth, loyalty, kindness.
Yeah.
Maybe write down your top 5 values. Then think, how are these showing up or not showing up in my relationships right now?
Interesting exercise.
Or journal about times you felt really fulfilled in love or really dissatisfied, and then analyze. How did those moments connect back to your core values being honored or maybe violated?
I see.
Getting clear on what truly matters to you helps you build stronger connections that are aligned and genuine, based on shared purpose, not just need.
Wow. Okay. So just to kind of wrap up this deep dive, we've covered some really powerful strategies for loving deeply without that heavy suitcase of attachment.
Yeah.
Things like practicing that Stoic mindfulness, that prosocia, cultivating gratitude, definitely setting healthy boundaries.
And embracing that dichotomy of control, knowing what's yours to manage and accepting impermanence, the memento mori.
Right. All really practical stuff.
And the key takeaway really is that by applying these ideas, you genuinely can build deeper, more fulfilling relationships, ones that thrive on respect and understanding.
Not dependency or fear.
Exactly. It's a love that lifts everyone up.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. If cultivating love without attachment means embracing the present, embracing your own agency within relationships, what other parts of your life might also change, maybe even transform? If you let go of trying to control outcomes or trying to cling so tightly to things that are naturally fleeting, something to think about.